Welcome back to my channel, everyone. The heat is getting ridiculous here. Now, normally August here in East Texas, it's hot. That's just the way it is. But what's different this year, what do they call it, an El Nino year? So the weather patterns are a little different. It's hotter than normal, and the duration of this heat is much longer than it normally is. So we are, every single day, we're dealing with, 100 to, well actually no, the last few weeks it's been 104, 106 every single day. That's not normal. Normally it's upper 90s, 100, it's still hot, but when you start getting to 104 to 106 every single day, you get a little tired of it. I can't do nothing out here. It's in the evening now, the sun is setting. It's the only time we can come out here. I don't cut the grass, because if you start cutting grass, it loses the moisture. The soil loses the moisture. So if you keep your grass long, it holds the moisture in the shade down there where it needs it. This is a mulberry here. We're trying to water these twice a week with our rainwater tank. We already went through one tank, which is 3,000 gallons, and we're halfway into the second tank, or more than halfway into it. So these temperatures of 104, 106, which roughly equates to those that are not in the U.S., 38 to 41 Celsius, roughly in that range. It gets bad. It gets really bad. So we've been watering these, all our trees, most of our trees. Some of them are well established and they're hanging on. This we just planted this year, and it was growing like crazy. It was just a little stick when I planted it, and it just, boom, it just grew like crazy. Unfortunately, this heat's a little bit much for it, so we've been watering these things at least twice a week really good, and basically it's just keeping them alive. That's all. For this year, I just make sure they don't die, and I want to make sure they stay alive. But I come out here on the day we start to need to water it, and the leaves are like, like this. So yeah, it's getting really, really bad. The only thing that's doing great is our cactus. They love it. Our cactus, I watered these things, I don't know, a week ago maybe, just a little bit. They're doing fine. They love this heat. They love it. It's the cold they don't like. So I'm gonna, let's see, I got some figs here I gotta water. Fig tree, and we're actually getting figs this year. Unbelievable. So I'm making sure I'm watering this tree, and hopefully we can taste some of these wonderful figs. These are the Texas Blue Giant figs. Let me show you them. This here is my Texas Blue Giant. I planted this thing years ago, at least, I want to say 3 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And every winter it would die down. And then it would grow up a little bit. It never got this big. Grow a little bit in the summer, and then winter came, and then it would die down again. During the winter, we get these freak cold fronts come through or whatever, and down to the teens and single digits sometimes, for a day or two, at night only. And it was just enough to kill these off. That's what really gets me upset. And I wrap these trees, insulate them with blankets, and I wrap them up and everything, and I put plastic over it to make sure that, the blankets don't get wet if it rains. And nothing. It kills them off right down to the ground. This year, it just exploded. It's like it's telling me, this year I'm going to really produce. It's really making that extra effort. But yeah, if you look here, I got some fruit on it. At least I got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, roughly 10 figs on it. Not a lot, but at least I should be able to taste them this year. So that's what I'm kind of excited about that. So I got to really make sure I keep this thing watered. Now figs do pretty well. They don't like a whole lot of water, but you'll know when they need watering when the leaves start drooping down a little bit. They need water. So this one's not doing too bad. So I'm hoping all this water I'm giving it keeps the leaves nice and, you know, looking good like this. Let's see what else. I got some more mulberries. I got 2 mulberries to water and my grapes. We're gonna go to the grapes next. So before I start watering my grapes here, I'm gonna show you this other mulberry tree here. You can see it's dry, the leaves are all drooping. All I'm doing is trying to keep these trees alive. This thing is doesn't look good, but just by me watering like this, and within half hour, 40 minutes, this thing will perk back up again, and it'll look much better. But the ground that I have here is mostly clay, very high iron clay. So when it dries up pretty quick. So I can water this area here where the root system is. And the roots are very small on this right now, but I just planted these this year. But when I water it here, the surrounding area, which is bone dry, it just wicks it, just draws it right out of where I'm, you know, watering in here pretty quick. So just by me watering this, it just barely keeps them alive. So like I said, I'm using my rainwater tank, and I'm trying to be conservative on the watering too. So I only got so much water. I mean, 12,000 gallons sounds like a lot of water, but when you start watering stuff, it's not that much. We're thinking about getting 2 more tanks, 2 more 3,000 gallon tanks. So that should help out quite a bit. So here, I got grapes here, and a whole row going down this way, and this row going down this way. These are my Alwoods, and these are my Concords. Very similar taste, the Alwoods and the Concords. They're not doing so good. This heat's a little bit excessive, and the ground is a little too dry. So I've been watering these a couple times a week. So what I do is I water it just a little bit like this, go all the way down the line. In the meantime, the ground's absorbing these, and then I come back here and I do it again. One of my Alwoods here is dead. I water it anyways because I'm hoping that maybe the root is still alive and it'll sprout again. And then I have another Alwood down at the other end that's it's almost dead. And yeah, the heat's just excessive. It's just way too much. And I'm hoping this year is the only year for this heat for a while. We will see, right? But the rest of my Mulberries, the ones that I'm not too sure if I'm going to pull out, I wasn't happy with the grape itself, but the juice is really good. So I think we're going to keep them for the juice and plant another. I'm going to build another grape trellis like this, probably over here somewhere. But another seedless. No, I'm sorry, not a seedless variety. A table grape with seeds, and they're very difficult to find right now. Very difficult. If you guys know a variety of table grapes that's very dark, black, blue color, that has seeds, and if I can get them, if they're available online somewhere, let me know, because I'm definitely going to plant those this next spring, for sure. Yeah, but my Mulberries here, they're doing okay. They're still, I've been watering them, but the heat's been too excessive. So down at the end, I got one that's just hanging on for dear life. The next one it's okay. It's doing okay. This other third one here, I've always had trouble with this one. I may pull that one out and put a cutting in there that I have still of this real nice one here. But these two here, they're doing okay, but you can see they're pretty stressed out. So Anyways, I'm gonna go down here and start watering these, and I'll show you what is doing good. So guys, this tree here is a jujube. This is a Lee jujube. They're small. We have another one over here. It's called a honey jar, and but it's a dwarf tree. I didn't know it was a dwarf tree when I bought it, but it puts out same size, but they're very, very, very sweet. That's why they're called honey jar. I also have another variety that I planted. It's really small. I planted it this year. Jujubes. If you're in zone 8 or higher, like 8, 9 and higher, well, maybe not tropic, but at least maybe even 7. Jujubes, plant those. The leaves fall off in the winter. They go dormant. Then in the spring, you know, all the leaves come out and they start fruiting. And let me tell you, they have an apple texture to them. If you haven't tried them before, tastes like a little apple. I mean, the texture is like an apple, but the flavor is like you poured honey all over it. And they got one seed in the middle, almost like a stone fruit looking kind of seed. Really good. We're gonna pick these soon. They're ready. You pick them when they start turning brown, or when they slightly start to wrinkle. Best time to get them. See, this one here, it's turning brown. This one here is turning brown, although the other side is kind of light skin still. Very sweet, delicious. You know, last year, got a big bowl of these, and they're addicting. You just one after another, one after another. But just a little seed in the middle. Now there's other varieties where they get about the size of a plum. Now that's the type to get. We bought one variety over here. I think it's called a Warner. I don't remember. I'll put it here. I think it's a bigger variety. And I know out in California, I think they're growing some that are big, really big, you know, about like that. But yeah, if you're in 7, 8, 9, those zones, Jujubes, they are fantastic. Okay, here we have a bed of June-bearing strawberries. And we planted them early this year, and they started growing really good, but this heat's getting a little excessive for them also. But we've been watering these also twice a week. I also put mulch down, leaf mulch, underneath here. Okay, and that holds the moisture in the ground. So that's what's keeping those alive. And over here, we got some more strawberries. Again, these are June bearing, and they're just barely staying alive. That's okay, because next year these will really put out for us if we can keep them alive. So yeah. And this bed here is just a tangled mess of sweet potatoes. Believe it or not, these were 3 little slips that I found growing in the greenhouse. I said, you know what, I better get them out of here because I don't want, you know, the sweet potatoes growing in there. So I planted these 3 slips right in the middle there, and they just boom. Again, I put leaf mulch down here before, you know, when I first planted them. So I hope we get some sweet potatoes out of this. And then let me show you what's growing in these pots here that I planted. I did a video, and there's 1, 2, and 3, and 4. These, I did a video where I titled it Grow Your Own Vitamin C. These are the acerolas, and they have more than doubled their size than when I planted them. So they are doing fantastic. This heat doesn't even faze them. They laugh at it. They're laughing at this heat. We just make sure the pots are watered, moist, not soaking wet, but moist. And they're doing really, really good. They really love this heat. My concern is obviously the winter time. So we're going to put these during the winter. We're going to put them close to our storage building, and where we can put them inside the storage building when the nights get below freezing. So yeah, they are doing really, really good. Fantastic, as I like to say. Another tree that does really good here is the Anna's apple. This thing has been through excessive rain to the point where a lot of my trees were dying because it was just waterlogged. This went through that, didn't faze it. It went through single-digit temperatures during the winter for a couple days, didn't faze it. Now it's going through 104, 106 degree heat every day, not a cloud in the sky, full sunshine, and look at it, doesn't even faze it. We've just been watering it twice a week, and they're fantastic. They do really good. So if you live in zones 7, 8, and 9, these they do so well. It's incredible. Anna's apple, and we just put out some apples for us this year, and a couple of them, they were like the size of the palm of my hand. They fit. They're big, kind of tart, sweet, and juicy, delicious. So yeah, does very, very good. Okay guys, I just wanted to give you this kind of a quick update on what's going on here. Just everything's suffering. We have some eggplants here that are, I mean, they grow, but they're still small and they're full of seeds. It's just the heat, even for eggplants, is just too much. And some pepper plants we have here, the giant Marconis, they're struggling. Everything's struggling here. Just really, really bad. So anyways, that's just a quick update of what's going on here. It's just hot, miserable. And those of you that live in the south, you know what I'm talking about right now. It's just miserable. And then the weather app, I keep checking my weather app, and they keep showing next week being in the low 90s. Then we get close to that day, and it's showing 105, 104. I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. And it keeps getting pushed back, you know. So I welcome low 90s right now. It would be just wonderful. I never thought I'd say that, but low 90s right now would be just wonderful. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.